How's it going, everybody? I've got some more magic for you today with a Boros equipment deck. This deck is now becoming viable again thanks to all of the cards in the Final Fantasy set. There's a lot of really fun ones here, so I'm going to try and go over the deck pretty quickly so we can get straight into games. We've got the new Zac Fair, 1-drop 0/1, enters with a 1/1 counter on it. You can pay 1 and sacrifice Zac Fair. Doing so gives target creature you control indestructible until end of turn. And you put any counters that are on Zac Fair on that creature and attach an equipment that was attached to Zac to that creature as well. So, if you get him out on the battlefield early, gets a 1/1 counter just from entering, you can maybe get some of your early equipments, such as the Lost Jite, Lava Spur Boots, things like that equipped to it. And then if someone tries to go to kill your, I don't know, Cloud or Raubon, then you can sack Zac to it, give the 1/1 counter to that creature that you're protecting, and move any equipment over to it. So really nice. We've got Freya Crescent, a really good uncommon legendary creature, Rat Knight, 1-drop, a 1/1. Has the jump ability, so during your turn it gains flying, and also it has an ability to where you can tap it for 1 red mana and only can cast equipment spells or activate equip abilities with this. But in this deck, that is really fantastic. It's basically mana ramp for you to get your equipment out or get an equipment equipped. Essentially, with this out, you could turn to, say you had a Leyline Axe in your opening hand, comes out on the battlefield, then you play a Freya with 1 mana, turn 2 you get 1 more mana, hopefully untapped, and you can tap Freya Crescent to put the Leyline Axe on it right away, or there are a lot of other really good ways to utilize it too, but that's a really fast mechanic that you could make use of. You can also use it to get like a turn 3 Aether Spark, get it equipped to something, all kinds of different options here. Really good. We've got Lava Spur Boots. It is a 1-drop, gives creature haste when equipped, and +1/+0, and it only has a 1 equip cost, which is really important. You could go with the Hexproof boots instead, but they're a 2 mana cost. I don't know if their equip cost is 1 or not off the top of my head, but this being cheaper really matters. It still does give Ward 1, which matters if you're being really aggressive. And I've built this deck in a fairly aggressive style, so we're not going like late game, try and do a whole bunch of stuff. This is like really aggro, get out there, beat in quick, and then get out. So we've got the Lost Jite, which is a 1-drop, 1 equip, really nice. It has whenever equipped creature deals combat damage, doesn't have to be to a player, could be to an opposing creature or anything. Put a charge counter on Lost Jite, remove a charge counter from Lost Jite to choose 1. Untap target land, target creature can't block this turn, or put a 1/1 counter on equipped creature. So this is really good for a lot of different reasons. For one, if this is on a creature that you've already got Leyline Axe equipped with, then you've got Double Strike, or even Bladeholder's War Whip also gives Double Strike, so you can get the trigger twice. You can use this to untap your land and get more cast out early in the game, which matters. You can use this to put 1/1 counters on creatures, which also matters if you've got like Leyline Axe or something to a Double Strike and Trample and all that. And you can also use it to make target creature not able to block, so you could just use this to completely lock down your opponent and get the win if they only have like 1 blocker and you only need 1 more hit. So really good for a lot of different things. I'm running it as a 1-of because you don't want it all the time. We also have the benefit of Cloud. His Enter the Battlefield ability allows you to search your library for an equipment card, reveal it, and put it into your hand. So I have 1-ofs of like the Lost Jite, the Buster Sword, the Aether Spark. I don't think it's necessary to have more of any of these. They're nice, but you don't want like a whole bunch of them. Like, you really consistently want Lava Spur Boots, or really consistently want Leyline Axe in your opening hand. You really often will want Bladehold War Whip because of the added benefit of it making your equip cost cheaper, but you don't really need multiple Lost Jite. For one, it's a legendary. Same with Aether Spark. It's a legendary artifact planeswalker, so you can't have more than 1 out on the battlefield at a time anyway. And I feel the same way with the Buster Sword, in fact. You got 1, you're not really going to need multiple, and you can decide what you want to get whenever you play Cloud in the first place to kind of push you forward. But yeah, so there's that. We've got the Dragoon's Lance. I really like this because it does create a creature for you. It's a job select card. It has flying on your turn, so it has some evasion because of that new Knight ability. It's only a 2-drop. Its equip cost is 4, which is pretty expensive, but we're not really doing it for the equip cost, which can get discounted because of the War Whip. We're doing it because it creates a body for you, which matters. So something that creates a creature for you to attach things to while still being an equipment is really good. That's how I feel about the War Whip also. We've got Kimba, so 2-drop 2/2, and whenever Kimba or another cat you control enters, attach up to one target equipment you control to that creature. Equipped creature gets +1/+1. So you could play this in a more cat-focused deck, even in late game. If you somehow get to it and Kimba's still alive, you could, pay 5 mana to create a 2/2 cat creature token that satisfies the requirements for the first ability as well, so you could do an equip off that. But the really good thing about Kimba is that you can just play it, like say for example, turn 1 you get the Lava Spur Boots out, turn 2 you play Kimba, it can automatically equip, or even if you have a Leyline Axe out because it was in your opening hand, you can put Kimba out, equip it, and then maybe put a Lava Spur Boots on it afterwards if you have the mana to do so. So really good for this deck based on all of that. We've got Cloud Midgar Mercenary. This is really the face of the deck. Cloud is the thing that makes this all really good. It's a 2/1 for 2, which isn't fantastic. It's good, but when he enters, like I said before, you search your library for an equipment card, reveal it, put it into your hand, and then shuffle, so it helps you fetch whatever kind of equipment you may need. And as long as Cloud is equipped, if an ability of Cloud or an equipment attached to it triggers, that ability triggers an additional time. So if you equip Cloud with anything that would trigger whenever he attacks, or if he hits, anything that triggers while he's equipped. So that has things like Lost Jite. It would be able to trigger twice off each hit. Aether Spark as well would be able to trigger twice off of each hit, maybe potentially putting you up to a really, really high loyalty total, the counter total, in just one hit. It doesn't really trigger off any. Well, we do have the Buster Sword, obviously, and this one's the craziest one. If you have this on Cloud and it hits, equipped creature gets +3/+2, and whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Then you may cast a spell from your hand with mana value less than or equal to that damage without paying its mana cost. So it's a 3 cost to cast, 2 cost to equip, which is really cheap. This card's crazy. And if you hit with Cloud with it, you do this twice. You draw a card and then get a free cast off of something in your hand. I know in testing this deck, I had Cloud equipped with the Buster Sword and the Leyline Axe. Got 2 hits that triggered twice because double strike and then double triggers off of Cloud, meaning I got to cast like 4 cards or something crazy like that. Draw, because I got to hit once, then draw twice, cast 2 cards, hit a second time, draw 2 more times, cast 2 more cards. So really, really quickly, I got to just go crazy with that. And it's worth knowing too, we're coming over to Raubon, Bull of Alamigo, 2-drop 2/2, ward, you must pay life equal to Raubon's power, which can just kill your opponent if you get this thing powerful quickly enough. Whenever Raubon attacks, attach up to 1 target equipment you control to target attacking creature. So if you attack with Raubon and something else, then you can actually use that equip to put like a Leyline Axe on Cloud while he's attacking with Buster Sword, or vice versa, something along those lines to go really nutty with it without even having to equip to Raubon specifically, because it doesn't have to equip to him, it just has to equip to an attacking creature, which is really, really nice. We've got Rebel Salvo. This is going to be your go-to removal for this deck. It is a 3 cost with affinity for equipment. It deals 5 damage to target creature or planeswalker, and if that permanent has indestructible, then it loses it until end of turn, so it can even kill indestructible creatures. Even if 5 damage isn't enough to kill, if you're attacking with something that has double strike from the Leyline Axe or double strike from the Bladehold War Whip, then you can kill that thing with first strike most of the time and then get damage through beyond that as well. So really, really nicely protects your things. And since it has affinity for equipment, more often than not, this is going to be a 1-drop. It's going to just cost you 1 red as long as you've gotten like any kind of equipment out on turn 1 and maybe turn 2. So very, very useful. We've got the Bladehold War Whip. This is actually a bit older card, but it is an artifact equipment, and I think it's still so good that it needs to be included regardless of the fact that it's older, and you could potentially swap it out for some of the new job select cards. And that's because this comes out onto the battlefield, generates a body for you, and then makes it to where all of your equip abilities, other than this one, says equip abilities you activate of other equipment cost 1 less to activate. And it gives the equipped creature double strike. Now, the equip cost for this is pretty expensive at 5, but you can attack in with Raubon and attach it to something. You can play a Kimba and attach it. So it's really not that bad, and if you have multiple of them out on the battlefield at the same time, they do reduce each other, but they don't reduce themselves, so that's worth keeping in mind. But just one of these makes the Buster Sword a 1-drop equip. So that's really, really cheap. You could even, if you have 2 of them, it's free. You can flip it around between any of your creatures. Similarly, Leyline Axe is normally a 3-cost equip, gets dropped down to a 2, or then a 1, and so it's very, very efficient. So Buster Sword kind of already went over it, does crazy stuff. Leyline Axe, it's double strike and trample, and gives the equipped creature +1/+1, which is really fantastic even on its own. It's a little bit expensive, but the thing that makes up for that is if this card was in your opening hand, you may begin the game with it on the battlefield. So if it's in your opening hand, it goes straight onto the battlefield. You don't have to pay the casting cost, you just have to worry about the equip cost later. And then we've got the Aether Spark. This is a legendary artifact planeswalker equipment. Like I said, as long as the Aether Spark is attached to a creature, the Aether Spark can't be attacked, and has whenever equipped creature dealt combat damage during your turn, put that many loyalty counters on the Aether Spark. So, like I had said, if you have this on Cloud, for example, and it hits, then it doubles that trigger. You get the fact that it can't be attacked as a planeswalker normally would be able to until the creature that it's equipped to has been destroyed. And then it has really good abilities. The +1 just instantly lets you equip it to a creature and put a 1/1 counter on that creature. The -5 allows you to draw 2 cards, and the -10 allows you to create 10 mana of any one color. So you do have to be a little bit mindful of that whenever you do it if you need that mana. But it's not really going to be super necessary for that. You're more often than not going to be using it just to draw extra cards or to get extra 1/1 counters on whatever creature you're attacking with. But really, really good in this deck also, like I said. And good just as a one-off also, because you don't need a whole bunch of them. They're legendary, you can't have multiple out. And then the mana base is pretty standard. I only went with like 1 Sun Billow because you got to worry about having mountains or forest out on the battlefield already for it to be untapped, and we're not running any of the scry lands in this that could trigger this because they enter tapped on their own and are pretty. I don't want things that are going to enter tapped and slow me down. This is an aggro deck, and then we've got 1 Restless Bivouac, just 1. It comes in handy to have a land that can turn into a creature and give 1/1 counters to your creatures. But again, you don't want a lot of lands that are going to enter tapped and slow you down in this deck, so just as a one-off on that, we've got 4 of the Inspiring Vantage. These are going to be your best land in this deck because it comes in, enters untapped as long as you don't have more than 3 land. Like if you have 2 land or this will be your 3rd land, then it enters untapped. So this is really good. These are your fast lands that you want really early. We've got Battlefield Forge. These ones are kind of your 2nd tier lands. They do hurt you to ping for colored mana, but they enter untapped and mean you can use them right away. So sometimes they're really important too. And then we've got regular plains and mountains. You could run like the starting towns. They do enter untapped as long as they're early, so they kind of give you that Inspiring Vantage type of effect, but they hurt you in the same way that Battlefield Forge does. And then on top of that, I just don't have any starting towns yet, so I feel like this is just a more consistent mana base, plus I just don't have the starting towns. But I don't prefer them even with them over what I've already got here. And then we do have a sideboard, Ghost Vacuum, for Reanimator decks. Reanimator decks are super popular right now because you're getting them both from the Unidecks that are reanimating your Saga creatures, and you also have it from decks that are trying to play off Arden, and so your regular Reanimator decks are playing that right now too. So Ghost Vacuum is really important in sideboard. You could use something along the lines of Rest in Peace instead. It won't be a big deal affecting your own graveyard because we're not bringing anything back from the graveyard in this deck, so that's kind of a preference thing up to you. However, I will say the Ghost Vacuum is an artifact and kind of synergizes with the deck, at least to an extent. This only has like affinity for equipment and stuff like that, so it doesn't really matter, but still, I felt like Ghost Vacuum just kind of fit better and is my preference as a 1-drop. We've got Sheltered by Ghost if you're up against a matchup where you really benefit from being able to take something off the board. For example, if you're up against a matchup where they're using, what is it called? It's the enchantment that wipes everything that's like a 2-drop or less and sucks it up, and then you can like get it with Sheltered by Ghost and get everything to come back. You could have some really good value there from that, so that's why Sheltered by Ghost is here. We've also got a few Chainsaws. Chainsaw is another potential removal, so if these kinds of cards are better if you need removal. Like if you're playing up against something that's going to be more aggressive, or you know you're wanting to wipe out your opponent's creatures, siding in some Shelter by Ghosts, Chainsaws, Torch the Towers in those really aggressive early matchups where maybe you're not as fast as them. And so things that are playing like Mice still, or things like that, really helpful here. We do have some Get Lost. You could also consider Suplex or Abrade in the sideboard. I don't have it here, but if you're worried about Quarry Steelcutter or other artifacts in particular, then you can run, like I said, Suplex or Abrade. I wouldn't recommend Brotherhood's in, just because you could hit your own artifacts with that, but so there's that. And then we've got a couple of Nibelheim Flame. If you're playing up against a deck that is populating out quickly and generating a whole bunch of creatures, then Nibelheim Flame can be really good to wipe everything but like your one cloud by dealing its damage to everybody else or something along those lines. So I thought it was good enough to include in this sideboard. Anyway, I'll go ahead and get into games. I'm going to be playing Best of 1 like I normally do, and I do recommend Best of 1 for this deck because it's so aggressive and kind of really easy to sideboard against, so people will be able to sideboard in all their artifact hate and all their removal to get rid of your creatures, and then you're not going to have a lot of fun. So I don't know that this deck is as good in Best of 3, but in Best of 1 it's been an absolute blast so far. But I'll go ahead and get into games. Thank you for joining me so far. Alright, so what do we have for an opening hand here? This isn't bad. We've got Leyline Axe right away into Raubon or Cloud, so I think this is fine. Leyline Axe out, and we're getting to go first, which is really nice. I'm going to start with just the plains. I'll probably go with Cloud first. Maybe Raubon, actually. Now, I'm going to go with Cloud because I want to go get a Lava Sphere. Because then, even if they kill Cloud, we can get Raubon out here, equip him right away, and then equip the Leyline Axe to him. So that was totally paying off for me, because I assumed they would kill Cloud. It was a pretty obvious play there. So what we're going to go ahead and do, Battlefield Forge, Lava Spur Boot. Oh, but I don't have the mana to equip it yet. Well, that sucks. We'll see how it goes. Maybe they'll kill Raubon, maybe not. Getting a little bit flooded here. Another Chainsaw really hurts, because now we're going to need another creature to equip with. Okay, we got Zac, which is actually really fine. We'll go ahead here, equip the Lava Spur Boots to Zac, and attack in. That still allows us to keep up the Rebel Salvo, which is fine. And now if they want to target Zac, that does at least have a Ward 1, so that's not terrible. Okay, Nahiri from our opponent, but it's not going to get to do anything because I'm just going to Rebel Salvo it. So now, fortunately, depending on what we draw, we can... Okay, we got land, which kind of sucks, but we can go ahead and put the Leyline Axe on Zac and attack for 6. So our opponent's already at 10. We've got good initiative. We just have to make sure we don't die or lose all of our board presence again. I do still think getting another Cloud or a Raubon here would be really nice. Getting another equipment to put on Zac wouldn't be terrible either. Getting him up above 3 toughness would be really nice. Not totally sure what my opponent's doing here. They're obviously doing some form of an equipment deck just like we are. However, they're running it with blue. I'm not totally sure the direction they're going with here. Okay, that's pretty favorable for us because Kimba's going to kill it before it even gains any life. More chainsaw triggers. And we can protect Kimba now with Zac as well, so our opponent's in trouble. Wait to see if they have any more plays, or if they're just done here. Okay, Blade Hold War Whip, good card, good card. And then I assume, can he even put a chainsaw on it? He can, okay. But I can make Kimba indestructible and attack in for the win, so we just win here. No real issues there. So, game over. Good try. Good try. I don't think the blue's necessary, but good go. Anyway, there's game one. Really easy win, showcasing why I go the aggressive route here. Had a good draw on creatures and stuff as well. Despite them blowing up our early Cloud and Raubon, we still had Zac, Kimba, and even got a Freya, which would have had flying for us to attack in if Kimba didn't work. So yeah, pretty good game one. We'll see how that continues on. 2 more for the video. Alright, we get to go first. We've got a Leyline Axe and Lava Spur Boots, so I'm actually pretty happy with this. Do we want to go with Cloud? I think probably. Cloud's really good. So we can do that instead of the Dragoon's Lance for right now. And I am going to grab the Buster Sword. Despite the fact that I'm probably not going to be able to use it right away, it's going to come in handy, I know it. If I can get up to 4 land after getting the Blade Hold out, then we'll immediately go on Cloud. Okay, so next we are going to go Mountain, Blade Hold, and we will equip Lava Spur Boots to it and attack. Attacking for 6, can be blocked, isn't, so that's actually pretty good for us. And then if we can get 1 mana, like I said, putting that Buster Sword on Cloud would be really nice. Or even putting it on our Blade Hold would be totally fine right now too. Because at least it has double strike. We can also equip the Leyline Axe for 2 now. Gotta use all of his mana to do that. So we're probably going to be equipping the Leyline Axe as well as the Lava Spur Boots to Cloud, which will give it trample and double strike. So we did get the land, which is really nice, but I still think this is probably worth doing. I don't need the Lava Spur Boots yet, so let's go ahead and make sure we have another creature just in case. And we can go ahead and attack with it as well. Yeah, so he blocks 1 damage, still takes a significant amount, looking good. Now if he kills Cloud, we have another Cloud. If he doesn't, we do have Buster Sword. And I do want to get that Buster Sword on Cloud. Okay, tap land. Let's go ahead and do the Buster Sword, like I said. Now we're going to get double triggers from Cloud, so this is pretty fantastic. Yeah, we just straight up win here. But let's enjoy these triggers from Cloud first. I decline. I don't want to throw out another Cloud. I don't want to throw out another Cloud. Alright, didn't draw anything cool to throw out, but we did get a really quick and easy win there. Very fun. I'll go ahead, and there's not a lot to talk about here with this one. They just didn't have removal to deal with our threats, so they got too big too fast. Made sure I was careful to make sure we had at least a backup creature here or there. But yeah, that was a great one. I'll go ahead and get into match number 3. Alright, we get to go first, which is nice. We got Lava Spur, Mountain Plains. Yeah, this looks pretty good. I'll keep. I think I'm actually going to start with Freya so that I can get... Well, no, now that I see that, let's get... 2, 3... Yeah, let's start with Freya. There's just too many good options to kind of mana ramp out here. Okay, we go here. I do want Kimba. I'm going to go ahead and attach this. And then I'm going to cast my Lava Spur Boots and get them out now too. Well, that was a really quick win. I'll probably include this, but I'm going to go for one more because that was just too fast. But it can show how this deck can get really crazy if you are get a good hand. Really, really fast. We got Freya, Kimba, Leyline Axe, and I was about to get Lava Spur Boots out. In the next turn, there was a really high likelihood that Buster Sword was coming out. So, I don't know, pretty good start. Okay, we get to go first. It looks pretty good, so I'll keep. Submit, start with the plains, get the Lava Spurs out. Go here, get Cloud. I think I'm going to fetch the Buster Sword. Then again, I could... Yeah, we'll go with the Whip. The Whip is just too good. Waiting on our opponent. Okay, tap land, that's gotta hurt. Okay, we go Whip. Then I'm gonna go ahead and attach the Lava Spur Boots to that and attack in. Opponent is at 12. How much does this cost right now? 2. So I think I'm going to do Zac, equip Leyline Axe to it, and then Lava Spur Boots, and probably just win there if I'm not mistaken. Because they played out a creature that can't even block for them, so... So we're going to go ahead and go Mountain, Zac, go with Leyline Axe here, Lava Spur Boots on Zac, and then get Freya out just cuz, and then attack in. Yeah, easy win. So you did get a bonus match in this with the last one, them ending it so quickly, but this match was just as quick, really, and they didn't give up. But I really do... Oh, sorry, hit the microphone. I really do enjoy this Boros equipment deck. Like I said, mine's a really aggressive build, so if you go into the mid to late game, it can turn against you pretty quickly. This isn't a mid-range one. If you're playing up against a deck that's just all removal, you're not going to get anything in, so there is that. The sideboard does address that to a degree. A lot of it's removal and stuff that makes this more sustainable in the late game, but you've got to survive to have creatures out if you're getting stalled by removal or control decks. But anyway, that'll be it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. I thought this would be a really fun first deck to showcase because I've not seen very many other people doing it, and I've really enjoyed playing it so far. But thanks for joining me.